Isn't it kind of a provocative comment in your new book here, Mug? And I think it's on page 151. You write that various groups, feminists, gay rights groups, and those who are defending immigrants have commandeered the black civil rights experience.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that because I think it's one of the most important points of the book. I mean, I think the way liberals have treated blacks like children and many of their policies have been harmful to blacks. At least they got the beneficiary group right. We do have to, I mean, we shouldn't. There is the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow laws. We don't owe the homeless. We don't owe feminists. We don't owe women who are desirous of having abortions, but that's, or gays who want to get married to one another. That's what civil rights has become for much of the left. They got the blacks after 5 minutes.
Immigrant rights are not civil rights?
No, I think civil rights are for blacks.
See, this is essentially the problem, and the Republicans
What have we done to the immigrants? We owe black people something. We have a legacy of slavery. Immigrants haven't even been in this country.
But you see, most of us are either immigrants or are the descendants of immigrants, and we understand. We understand. Not everybody. There are Native Americans in, but we understand in this country. We understand in this country that kind of self-deportation, making things so difficult for immigrants, for undocumented immigrants, that they have to leave, or the DREAM Act, vetoing, threatening to veto the DREAM Act, which is what Romney has said. I mean, and again, we have Governor Romney, who is basically taking a position that is anti a large and the fastest growing segment of the electorate.
And here's the thing, if Republicans don't do something with immigration.
Fuck what that nigga saying. I like what the white lady was saying, right? Everything blacks fight for, it wound up. Nobody fight. Everything black people fight for, nobody else will fight for. They'll let us do all the fighting. And then if we win, they want to reap the benefits of our win. But they won't help us put in the pain. They won't put in no pain with us. But if we fight and win, they want to, oh, we with y'all. Oh, we a part of y'all. And all type of shit. If we lose, they be like, see, them niggas is done. To an extent, to a great extent, people, I believe segregation is needed. I always say this. Segregation is needed so we can see each individual group. We can see their strengths and we can see their weaknesses. Each individual groups, no integrated, no melting pot, no big bowl, everybody together, no. Separate everybody. Because that's how it used to be anyway. It was separated, bro. The Indians and the black indigenous was the only two people here fighting against all of the colonizers. And who was the colonizers? They was from various European countries. French, British, Spaniards, everything. The Indians and the black indigenous was the only two groups fighting. Nobody wasn't here when all that was going down. And this was going on for hundreds of years. The Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, the Jamaicans, the Africans we know today, all these niggas came after the whole war is over. It's like in a Kung Fu movie when the Grandmaster's fighting, he's fucking everybody up. After he beat everybody up or after he tired, one nigga comes at the end and kill the master. Nigga, you don't get no props for that fight because you came at the end of the movie after a whole bunch of other shit was already going on. Yeah, so everybody be coming in now, immigrants, all these niggas crossing the border. Everybody wants rights. Niggas is coming by the thousands. They giving these niggas hotels. They giving them money and all type of solemn packages and all this shit. There's a plan behind that. You know, there's a big plan behind that. And these niggas have an agenda and it's crazy. Let me see what I can get to match that post that the lady was saying because I think I got it. Oh, I think it's right here. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. Here we go. The whitening of Latin America. So this is going to kind of co-sign with what the lady was saying in regards to the blacks need the reparations. Check this out.
The emancipation of slavery was a threat to the social hierarchy in Latin America, so white elites came up with a plan to systemically, physically, and culturally wipe out black people. How did the region do it? Mass white European immigration while banning the immigration of non-whites. Welcome to the Blancamiento and Brancamiento period, which literally mean to whiten. In this period, elites aim to make black people disappear through their gradual absorption into the white race. Over 10 million European immigrants settled in Latin America between 1880 and 1930, with 90% of them going to Argentina, Uruguay, Cuba, and Brazil. Brazil even went as far as to pay for transportation costs from Europe and passed a law making European immigrants automatic citizens as soon as they arrived. The emancipation of slavery was a threat to the social hierarchy in Latin America, so white elites came up with a plan to systemically, physically, and culturally wipe out black people. How did the region do it? Mass white European immigration while banning the immigration of non-whites.
So look, the same thing is going on right now. They made Latin America, they whitened Latin America because they allowed the whole Europe. I go for Italians, Spaniards. They allowed all the Europeans to migrate there, but not letting nobody of color migrate there. So now, the same thing is happening in America, but they not trying to whiten it. They trying to Latino it. That's what I'm telling you, people. They can't whiten it because the European population is on a great decline all over the world. Birth defects, all type of shit. This is scientific fact. This is not racism. Please, people, that I don't want to hear I hate white people and all that, because I don't. I have white friends. I popped a lot of white bunnies. I popped a lot of them. I popped a lot of snow foxes. So I don't want to hear racism, no funny, stupid shit, nothing. I'm just giving facts. I deal with things from an objective state of mind. So now, this is why they're letting all of the all these immigrants come from all over the galaxy, across the border and everything, right? The government is trying to separate the gap. It's easier for white people to infiltrate the Latinos because a lot of Latinos is white with straight hair. Blacks have kinky, nappy hair. Don't get it twisted. We're dealing with the physical right now. We ain't dealing with the state of mind. I always tell y'all, black is a state of mind and white is a state of mind. So there is white people that's more black than black people, and there's black people that's more white than white people, mentally, right? But we're talking physically right now, genetics, bio, right? It's easier for the white man to get with the white Latina, the lighter skinned Latina that thinks she's white, and he can nut in her and breed a baby, and it'll still have white content because they both have straight hair. They both have that Spaniard genetics. You know what I'm saying? They both have that European genetics, right? They're going to let all the immigrants come. The more immigrants come, it'll broaden the gap between the whites and the blacks. They're not going to never let us really get on their heels. But at the same time, also, y'all got to remember, the white people who rules this country, their ancestors, right, the so-called founding fathers of America, they was immigrants. All them niggas is immigrants. Only the Indians is natives, and they wiped most of them out, and the rest is living on plantations. And black people was the natives. There was Indian indigenous, and there was black indigenous. They can't pack us up. Can't send us back to Africa. They can't send us nowhere. So they gotta wipe us out. They gotta lock us all up. They gotta have other ethnicities come and give them all the benefits. They shitting on Mexicans still. Mexicans and blacks have a long history of being united. Don't get it twisted. The fuck all the gang shit in Cali with the brown and black wars and they killing black niggas and black niggas killing them. During the slave era and all that, Mexicans and blacks have strong history. Y'all got to dig in the crates with that. But, you know, the machine always likes to manipulate, divide, and conquer, because if everybody is on the same type of time, niggas is going to knock them off. So they got to keep us going at each other, people. You know what I'm saying? They got a kid, so they bringing all these immigrants in. They're gonna give all them the benefits. They're gonna reward them, and they're gonna be like, yeah, let them fight amongst the blacks. Let the blacks fight all these immigrants that's come here. The Africans, the Haitians, Dominicans, the Mexicans. Let all them fight amongst each other, and they won't focus on us. So this is why they letting 90 gazillion immigrants come here. They want to create more chaos, right? And they want cheaper slave labor. So they know these people coming from other countries are starving. They gonna work for cheaper slave labor, right? But listen to this. Listen to this, people.
Because when Malcolm came back on that last trip, he had a meeting at Ruby Dee's brother's house, Tom, out on Long Island. And at this meeting, all of the civil rights leaders, all of the primary organization were present, except Dr. King, but Doc sent the representative. And they came up with a tentative agreement that they were going forward in some sort of working relationship between the OAU and these movements in terms of the struggle in America. That frightened Hoover, because the last thing Hoover wanted was a Malcolm running around the South with Dr. King and them. Fannie Lou Hamer had invited him to come and speak at her place in Mississippi 2 weeks following the date that he was assassinated. Other people, he had been to Selma shortly before that. And, you know, when Doc King was in jail, and he made it very clear to them, y'all better deal with him, because if you have to deal with me, you're going to have another problem. So the last thing they wanted was the fusion of the nationalist movement with the civil rights movement, with the articulator being a Malcolm X. So the feds were irritated and afraid on the home front, and they were irritated and afraid on the international front, because he's meeting with the Kwame Nkrumah, who is running Ghana and is not an American friend. He's meeting with Jomo Kenyatta, the Mau Mau leader in Kenya. He's meeting with Ezekwe, the leader of Nigeria. He's meeting with Ahmed Ben Bella, who's one of the leaders of the Algerian Revolution. And so they were saying, what the hell is going on? How is this guy able to create these relationships? And they were afraid of those relationships fusing with the African American movement in this country, especially when he came back and tried to find some serious partnership with the civil rights movement. You know, even until Jimmy Carter, the fundamental policy of America is that there should be no economic, political, and cultural relationship between Black Americans and Black Africans. And Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was the national security advisor under Carter, wrote a white paper on the subject and was very clear and spelled it out, that it was a policy of the United States of America to make sure that African Americans and Africans never unite politically, economically, or culturally.
People, y'all gotta tap in. In order to know what's going on now, you gotta know what's going on before. And a lot of y'all is dumb. Y'all don't read. Y'all niggas not educated. Y'all not tapped in with history, so y'all don't even understand the war that's going on right now. On all levels. Spiritually, physically, mentally, financially, economically, ethnically, everything. I don't understand what's going on. Y'all gotta study the old black gangsters and the old white gangsters. Brzezinski, J. Edgar Hoover. These niggas was like, bro, they don't ever want niggas to be unified, formulate, transform, or nothing. So it's an attack on black people still. They never gonna get their feet off our neck. Because they know once niggas is up, it's gonna be a different movie. It's gonna be a topple of power, people. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, so look, they like the brother said, Malcolm and them was tapped in with Jomo Kenyatta from Kenya, the Mau Maus, Nkrumah from Ghana. He was tapping in with different international African leaders. The African revolutionists, them niggas fight wars different. The ones that got guns now, the militias, the guerrillas and all that. They didn't want us to be like that over here. They don't want niggas to formulate and transform because the movie is going to be quiet for them people. So when y'all dealing with people who's not as educated and ain't as informed, y'all gotta like have mercy on them. Don't be weak, but have mercy on them. When you see immigrants come in, people from different ethnicities, and they dumb and they racist or they doing funny shit, you gotta bear with them people and know how to ignore them. But don't let them hurt you or harm you. But you gotta know how to just strategize and get your Professor Xavier on. People, we're dialogue again, man. I'm just trying to teach y'all, man. Education is elevation. Each one teach one. I'm Oxygen Uno.